Hello, and I'm back with this week's video. It's a book haul, but I finally got around. Okay, you know what? Let me start from the beginning. I was in a bad mood, and I needed something to take my mind off of it. So I was like, you know what? Let me go and use my book vouchers from my local bookstore, and so that's what I did. I ran around a bit to blow off some steam, and I ended up with one of the, I think, quite a wholesome book haul from what I like. That's how I would describe this book haul. So here it is, and this is where I got my books from. It's Sarasavi Bookshop. This is my local bookstore. They have some good stuff. They've started getting some more stock in because I think we're doing okay now in terms of imports. So was able to get some good books this time. My favorite book has to be this one that I've purchased. This is called Paradise in Tears, and it's by Victor Ivan. And this book is actually, it's something I've wanted for a while. I wanted this one specifically for my coffee table. So this one, it's all about the history of Sri Lanka. So it actually includes from the colonial period. I think it has a bit of insight onto the royalty, like the monarchy that we had back then, and post colonialism. It goes through the war. It goes through the changes, the political changes it has we endured as well. And okay, so you've got the graphite industry, you've got the infrastructure that was developed during the British colonization. You've also seen the differences in the, because Sri Lanka is a very diverse nation. So you've got the Hindus, you've got the Sinhalese, you've got Moor, you've got Tamil, you've got Catholicism, Malay, all of those kinds of stuff. So this one actually covers a lot of it, and I feel so sad. Like when I was in school, because I we had we had the British system, so we had IGCSE and edXL. We weren't actually able to learn about Sri Lankan history. Like none of it was taught. So we, instead of learning about Sri Lankan history, which is actually very old, it's got heritage history. We are a very old civilization as well. We never got to learn about it because we had the British system. So we learned about the British Empire, the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and that's pretty much how we learned history. And being a Sri Lankan and now being of an age where I'm able to understand what my culture is, where I stand in this society, what the history is like. If I didn't do more to learn about my own history, I would feel very disappointed. Like I should be ashamed of myself because a lot of us, like in this country, we live our lives, but we don't know the history of it. We don't know where we came from. We don't know what the people of the past has gone through to be here today. And that's why I feel like this book is really important, because it shows the why this system is the way it is, why the people that were in power 60 years ago, why they're still in power, why the independence favored some people and didn't was adverse to others. So this is a great book to kind of look at it at a glance and see why some people were presidents and why their families, like nepotism, all those kinds of stuff, and then what are the incidents that led to the Sri Lankan civil war, because we had a civil war for 30 years, and all of those kinds of stuff. And this is done in an objective kind of way because this is written by Victor Ivan. So I don't want to, okay, I'm going to assume he's Russian just by the name. He could be Serbian, who knows? But it shows the history in an objective point of way. It doesn't say this race was better, that race was better. It doesn't say, some people were, yeah, you get the gist. But oh wow, it also shows the deaths of people that were killed during the war. So This is a great book to educate yourself. And I know it's a weird book to have as a coffee table book, but I feel it's important to be able to look at your own history in the face and understand where you came from. And no one really comes into my house other than my dad and my mom, but if they want to flip through it when I'm not home, then that's on them. So, sticking to the theme of Sri Lankan history, I wanted to give myself an opportunity to read a book by a Sri Lankan author. And this one kind of it stood out to me. So this is called um, Island of a Thousand Mirrors, and it's by Nayomi Munaweera. So she's a local author, and it's a beautiful book. It's got like a this is the island of Sri Lanka. You can see a bit of the outline over here, and I'm pretty sure that's a whale on this side. But the reviews are really stunning. So it talks about how this book was all like poetic language, striking imagery, and because Sri Lanka is a beautiful country, I can imagine like what kind of imagery is discussed in this. And I'm very excited to read this book and kind of see how Sri Lanka looks to someone else, a different perspective as opposed to mine. And there is also like, so it talks about the three women at the core of the ambitious global spanning story. So I'm more excited that this also focuses on this like women, and yeah, very exciting to very excited to read about it. All right, so that's my other book. This one, this one I've never read, and please judge me. I welcome the judgment because I also wonder how I got through my life not reading this book. But then again, I read as a teenager and a child, but I didn't read like books like this. I read books like Twilight, and I read the Charmed series as well. But this is a very well known book in literature. It's Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. And like I said, I've never read it before. I don't know what it's about. I'm excited to discover the world of Charles Dickens. I know he's a very masterful author. I know his words live on to this day because of that. And I'm just putting it out there, but I feel like if you're teaching literature in school, I think it's a great idea to allow children to like even if it's like a reading assignment to make them read at least 2 or 3 books every trimester. I want to say they go in trimesters in Sri Lanka. I believe they do. But to read some of these books and write about them, understand, improve the vocabulary, improve the literary knowledge, because you don't get books like this nowadays. And I think it's really important that children immerse themselves in different kinds of reading as opposed to I had, and I'm not saying it's bad, but I had to read Julius Caesar by Shakespeare. But the thing is, his writing, like Julius Caesar, was written as a play. And I would have loved to read a book where there was a little more context. Like the dialogue is obviously there, but there's a lot more imagery, a lot more depth to books like Great Expectations when it's written as a book as opposed to a play. Now here's where it got a little tricky because I did stuff I wasn't supposed to, and I really I took it too far. I won't lie. I saw this book. It's called Dissolution, and it's by C.J. Sansom. And again, I want to shout out to Pan Macmillan Books because they actually write really good books. And I made sure this time that I wanted to read at least 2 pages before I got this book, because the last time I got a book based on its cover was, what was it? The Scarlet Veil, and we all know how that one went. So, oh, this is a Disney series. Okay, but this is based in England, 1537, and I think it has something to do with Henry VIII. The writing was really good. It flowed really nicely, and I'm excited to read it. A word that I'm gonna have to come up with a new word instead of excited because I overuse it. But this is the first book in this trilogy, and I went right ahead and I got the second book as well. I would have gotten the third book, but I actually couldn't afford it at the time. I was running out of my vouchers. So I got the second book, and that is called Dark Fire. And that's also a beautiful cover, a lot more detail in this one. Um, very excited to read it. I don't. Oh, okay. So this one, this one is the first one is based on like it has the show, Disney show. This one does not. The cat you are seeing right here on my left is John. He's named after John Cena. He's a ginger cat and he loves hugs. But that oh my god, he fell. But that is my book haul for that I got this time. And if you'll excuse the cat. Okay. We don't want to show any booty holes. I'm sorry. I have one more book I wanted to show you guys, and this one was a present for my birthday, and this is the final book in the Seven Sister series. It's The Missing Sister by Lucinda Riley, and I'm very excited to start reading this one because it really just ties up the whole series. Oh my god, this cat! And I do want to get the story of Pa Salt, which is the story of how Pa Salt discovered all of the sisters, except for obviously this one. Um, but yeah, so this is my entire book haul, and I'm gonna say this is like what I'm going to be reading. In addition to, I've got two more books that I need to read, so that makes a total of 7 books, and I think that'll last me till mid-February. I actually don't know. I don't know how like January is gonna go. I can't believe like this year is almost over. But here we are at the final stretch, and I'm very excited. This was a year of reading for me. There will be one more upload right before the new year, which is gonna be when I finish Wuthering Heights. It's taking me a lot longer than I realized. It's a very heavy book, a lot of toxic relationships. So it takes me like I have to stop and restart it when I'm mentally ready. Um, but yeah, that's it for this week. Bye. Have a great weekend, guys.